Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, I think millions of Americans are stuck. They have a career going and they wake up, they're on the top of the little hill or mountain they're climbing and they're saying, is this all there is? So our next guest is going to help us get unstuck. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as you saw in that show open, I had reached the top of the little hill or mountain I was climbing called local TV news, and at the age of 45, I did the most daring thing I could ever do. I walked away. It was the only thing I knew since I was a 19-year-old student reporter in college. And thank God I did, because I am living my best life. I work with my kids. We're producing something like 190 different podcasts, TV shows, and we have another 30 clients who hire us to get them on the news. I love my life, and thank God I left. But sometimes you need a coach. That's why I invited my next guest back on the show. Krystalore Crews is in the studio. She is a transition coach, fitness and retreat leader, and confidence coach. I can't wait to dive into this with you, because it's been a year.
I know, it's been a year.
And you've been through some stuff. So let's start with your journey. So 22 years in the military. Okay, what did that include?
I started driving a forklift.
Wow.
Right after 9/11. I joined with my best friend, started that, then decided that quickly was not for me, and got into training and development. I started building a computer system when we had paper records everywhere. Then I realized that I love training and became a computer engineer and a project manager with that. And then I was a recruiter, career counselor. I helped people decide which jobs they wanted to, how they wanted to pivot and, or maybe get out of the military or choose to stay in. So they would come to me. And that's when I learned a lot of coaching. And using my finance background from my old times as HSBC as a licensed broker, I just was able to really help people understand what they wanted to do with their lives. And so the last 15 years actually was executive coaching, leadership development, team building, and just helping people live happier and healthier.
Outstanding. We're going to pull up her website, and as we scroll on the website, you do a lot of things. I mean, confidence coach, you do a lot of retreats. What are some ways people can engage you?
Yeah, so I think at the Grassroots Foundation, I have an online fitness program, which is called Beyond Limits Boot Camp. And it's a no matter what mentality, right? And so we work out for 30 minutes, including warm up and cool down. No equipment, no excuses. I actually taught from the parking lot at the hotel this morning. I'm still sweating from that workout this morning, but we had some incredible people. So wherever I travel in the world, I was in Roatan, Honduras a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
I live in Puerto Rico.
Amazing.
I'll be in Buffalo next week, back to Roatan. So my bags are always packed, and I can't always get to a gym. And so I really love to help people that can't always get to the gym, maybe work from home or feel that they're too busy. And so I have a beautiful community where people can still work out, and it's like your online fitness besties, right? And so that's the foundation. Then I have a couple courses. I host retreats. I also have some private coaching. And so I just really love to help people live happier and healthier.
And as we were talking about your military career, I want to put a picture up on the screen, because I love this picture, because, and you'll have to talk about how you created this amazing picture. This is you looking in the mirror at your military career. And so 22 years, how many of those years were active?
10. 10 of those of the 22 were active.
Wow. And what did you learn in the military?
Ultimately, discipline. Resilience, really being able to do something that's bigger than ourselves, So I'm deep in my faith. And so my core values in my faith are important to me. So really finding something that is bigger than me, to be able to really show up powerfully no matter what. I think that was the foundation of a lot of what I do. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to be a woman of integrity and do it. And that builds not only self-trust with myself, but also my teammates, my community, the people that need me. And so I think really that resilience and the tenacity and the integrity and being a part of a team and something bigger.
And you have these amazing retreats. We found a video that you produced. Let's go ahead and put that on screen and talk about what happens at some of your retreats. What happens?
So it's an all-inclusive women's wellness experience. So I do have a couple retreats. I do book writing retreats and business building retreats as well. But my most favorite is women's empowerment. And so what it is all-inclusive, basically a vacation with a purpose. And it's not just, how I say, it's not just about cucumbers on her eyes and Mai Tais by the pool. Right. It's not a place to check out. And I used to escape from life, right? And so I used to escape to go on vacation, and I would come back more burnt out, more stressed, and all the work piling back up. So what I decided to create is an experience in paradise where we can just check in with ourselves, quiet the noise. It's not a checkout. It's not an escape. It's a place to find yourself and be amongst amazing, incredible women going after their dreams and goals, quieting the noise, and getting back to the true person that they are.
Yes. Let's talk about confidence, because I think a lot of women share, well, men too, have imposter syndrome. They just got elevated from, salesperson to now head of sales, and suddenly they're in charge of a team who might be older than they are. Talk about what the confidence it takes to be successful.
Yeah. So when it comes to confidence, I think the confidence comes from competence and consistency. So I have the 5 C's in the Freedom Formula. And so the confidence comes from consistency. When we think about starting something new, when you start a new job or you're in a new relationship or you start a new business, a lot of times when we have all this experience, or when you're starting your whole life new, you have all this experience and you've been an expert in some areas. And then all of a sudden you're back in the student seat and you're like, naked and afraid. You're like, what? Everyone can see me, right? And so a lot of times what happens is we get in our own head of, we can't allow ourselves to be vulnerable. We can't allow ourselves to be a student again, because we are so used to having it all figured out and all together. And so what I love to say is, like, when we have that imposter syndrome, when we're starting something new, when we're evolving or just starting life anew, or you're trying to figure out what the next stage is, really capitalizing on the experience that you have had, the education, that nobody can take that experience and education away from you. And it just might look different. And as you grew that experience and that education, it had to start messy originally. You had to learn that mental muscle. You had to build the skills and the confidence and the competence over time that allowed you to get to that top of the mountain. I try to take the word but out of my vocabulary. And there's another mountain to climb. So as we achieve some level of success, right, whatever that success looks like, there's going to be another mountain to climb. And so we're constantly rebuilding and reforming and reshaping our new reality and our future. And so part of that recipe is allowing us to be a student again, is allowing us to be coached and mentored again, is allowing it to start messy. My first time on TV, it was ugly, it was messy. And I was like, oh, it looks horrible, right? But I love looking back at that time when I first started. Because it was messy. And I still did it every single day. And I'm still working at my craft every single day. So,
all right, share with us one of your favorite success stories. And you've helped countless people get to that next level.
Yeah, I love to help men and women, but mostly women. So for instance, this one woman, she is a lawyer. She's very successful in her practice, but she never got to see her children. And so there was a lot of overworking, a lot of over-delivering, a lot of people-pleasing, caring, loving, giving soul that just was burnt out. And she was exhausted, and she wasn't feeling good in her skin. And of course, I'm wearing black today, but most women that are in this season, if you look at their closet, it's black. It's baggy clothes. You don't see a lot of pictures. And so for her, it was like, hey, I want to feel alive again. I have 2 young kids. I want to feel my best.
Yes.
And so with her, she ran her first marathon. She's having so much more aliveness and vibrance in her life. She's wearing things other than black.
Yes.
And taking pictures and going on vacations and actually living the life that she desired.
Okay. All of the viewers right now could go on Amazon and buy the top 10 leadership or personal self-help books. Having an accountability partner like you is important. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I think we all, when we're going after our dreams and goals, we all want to be around people, right? That are like-minded, that are action takers, that are creating goals for themselves, thinking about the future. I don't want to say everyone thinks that way. A lot of people are out there, they think that what's on television, what the latest movie is, what the weather's like is the conversation. I love to be at the table with women and men that are talking about what is your biggest challenge in your life? How are you going after it? What conferences are you going to? I was here this weekend at a conference. Who are you surrounding yourself with to have next level conversations? And so I think that's important. Just being around other people, because your energy already elevates.
Yes.
If you're not the smartest person in the room, really getting around other people that you're learning from, that you can also have value. So it's not just about the take. It's about give and take and making sure that you're in the right rooms with people that are going to challenge you and hold you accountable, but also that inspire you. It's like, I want to be like, I see something good in you. I want to be like that.
Why don't you describe your coaching style? Is it loving but firm? I mean, do you call
That's
people
what I'm kind of laughing on the inside.
Do you call people out when they're coming up with excuses?
Yeah, so I guess the short answer is yes, loving and firm, but empathetic, and I meet people where they're at. So I know when there's needed some tough love, and thankfully, part of what I do is personality style, emotional intelligence. So I help people understand their personality, and so knowing that about my clients and using that as a foundation, I'm a little intuitive with what they need in the moments. Sometimes it's some tough love, sometimes it's some wit, and sometimes it's a knife hand and some difficult conversations. But one of my mentors, Trent Shelton, always said, he's like, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And I love this quote because he's like, I love you too much to stay the same. And that's how I feel about every one of my clients. I see them for where they're going to be at that top of the mountain. And I walk myself down to meet them where they're at and say, hey, here's the next step. And I love you too much to stay the same. And you hired me because you wanted change. So reminding them of their why. And it's not always going to be pretty. But I'm here and we have a community to help support you and walk you through it.
And I urge my viewers to follow her on all her different platforms. She's on all of them and she creates these amazing little videos. Let's go ahead and roll one right now.
Have you ever felt yourself so stressed and overwhelmed and left depleted because you've poured so much into everyone and everything around you? Life stressors and pressures, and life is chaotic, right? And we're pulled in 12 million different directions. And sometimes our health and wellness takes a backseat, or goes on the back burner, or it's in the trunk of our car. And so, my friends, we have the 5-day Bombshell Boot Camp where we unleash the freedom formula so that you can have courageous confidence to be able to go after your dreams, your goals, create your dream reality, and live the life that you desire. So as I unleash the 5 steps to courageous confidence in the freedom formula, we start with our core values, our core posture, how we show up in the world. We get more confident and clear in the pursuit of what is setting our soul on fire. We are consistent in our daily healthy habits. We get around community and we connect with other humans, and then we celebrate the heck out of ourselves. So this is for you. Please join us at the next 5-day Bombshell Boot Camp. We do this monthly and we cannot wait to see you in there. Cheers, Crews Beyond Limits.
Outstanding. Let's talk about the retreat experience because you've got another big one coming up in August.
Yes. So I think ultimately, when we're in this season of change, most women come because they are feeling a little bit stuck. They're maybe about to retire from the military or have a season of caretaking or motherhood that's shifting.
Yes.
Or maybe there's a challenge or change in their marriage or their relationships. Or maybe they're just struggling, like with staying healthy and creating those healthy habits. So there's a lot of change and seasons of change that can happen in many areas of our life. And so this opportunity is a really good reset for people to figure out what the next stage of their life can look like. So how can we create more legacy? How can we capitalize instead of being in that imposter syndrome? How can we shed light on the experience and the values and all of the depth of the education, what you want to do to create impact in the world and elevate it to the next level? And so about half of my clients are female veterans and military spouses. And so and that's part of my legacy and part of this next chapter. After serving for 22 years in the military, I started my business 8 years ago as I was preparing for my transition. So now I'm celebrating a little over a year of full-time entrepreneurship. I didn't have to settle. I didn't have to get a job, a real job. That's what a lot of people tell me. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since retirement and helping people travel all over. I live 10 steps from the ocean. I just fulfilling and living my dream. I'm literally doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I aligned my passion, my purpose, what I love to do, and create this retreat experience to allow people to just do what they want to do in this next season. And so I love to partner with other people, businesses, communities, nonprofits that support veterans. And so about half of my clients are given scholarships and sponsorships to attend free or at a lower cost.
Beautiful.
And that has been just so amazing because when I was broke without a job, when I first transitioned off of active duty and I ended up starting my business, I had a coach and it was a transitioning life coach. And I said, one day I want to be able to pay it forward and do what you do. And so I want to help other female veterans start their businesses, go after their dreams and goals and not settle, not be in that imposter syndrome. So write books, be on stages, be on your show, start a podcast and really live the life that they desire. So.
Okay, and you are taking sponsorships, so let's put an exclamation point on that. Why don't you look into the camera on the left and talk to the person who might want to come alongside you?
Yeah, so the sponsorship or the
sponsorship.
Okay, so the companies that support veterans, we always say, hey, I support our America's veterans and I want to help. How can I help? This is your way that you're able to pour into not only a veteran, but a female veteran that wants to create impact and create a legacy in her life and in her community and be able to impact the lives of others through her next mission after her service. And you have a unique opportunity to shed light on your business and be able to be a partnership with Cruise Beyond Limits and with Revive and Thrive Retreats to be able to offer a scholarship where these women have served our country, they serve their families, they serve their communities, and they don't always invest in themselves and they don't think they can. And so you're able to give it an opportunity for a sponsorship or a scholarship to change their life forever. And it's not just their life. It's their family, it's their community, it's the legacy that they want to live and the legacy that they want to leave in their next mission after their service.
Outstanding. We've got about a minute left. So final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Just live life while you're still living. I am a year after retirement. So many people are like, I wish I could move 10 steps to the ocean. I wish I could move to Puerto Rico. I wish I could move to Roatan. I wish I could live the life that you did. Stop wishing, stop waiting, and just start living now because tomorrow isn't promised. And you get to design the life that you desire and still live now and don't wait. Don't wait till next week because that might not be here. So.
Outstanding. We're going to end with her website so you can get in touch with her for all coaching you need and her retreats. Krystalore.com is the website and /revival retreat is the upcoming retreat in August. And Krystalore, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.